I think for a long time when I was a kid, I drew. I drew a lot, and I drew a lot of comic strips, and it took me a long time to work out that was trying to make films rather than be a comic strip artist. When I was at school, there was, I kind of thought, maybe this is the way to do this, is to film stuff, but there was no, it was very early days of video cameras, so nothing really worked properly. And I always love reading these stories about, like Spielberg and his dad and his Super 8 camera, and they used to make loads of movies. We didn't have any money, so there was no Super 8 short films from coming out of my house. And it seemed like at the time, if you wanted to go to film school, they wouldn't take you unless you were 25. So that was closed as well. And then the art school film route wasn't, that was very esoteric. So I kind of ended up doing, because I could draw reasonably well, I ended up doing fine art and ended up at college doing sculpture, weirdly. And from there I found an edit suite, and then it started to unfurl its secrets. I think I watched a lot of stuff, and then I started to put it together over time. So when I started to track down the movies I'd seen when I was a kid, and I realised that they were all, the ones I really liked were all by Alan Clark, that was kind of a moment. And I went, oh, right, so this one guy's made these movies. And because they'd show us stuff at school as well, so I saw like Contact, and I might have even seen Scum at school as well. And around that period, I suppose I would have seen Meantime as well, and Kathy Come Home, and those kinds of things. But then there was, Boys from the Black Stuff and all the brilliant plays that were on, and Dennis Potter stuff as well. So the Singing Detective was a big thing for me when I was a kid. I'd been making shorts and making stuff for years before the internet became useful, and I was working on it at the beginning when you couldn't even stream video. But yeah, the difference that it made to me was that you could make stuff and get instant feedback from people. So I posted a lot on b3ta.com, and to find a group of people whose basic ethos was, if you're not going to say something nice, don't say anything, it must be the last place on the internet that feels like that, So I made a lot of work there and got a lot of really nice feedback, and it really helped, just made me make more and more. And you're right, it becomes very addictive to do that. And then once the internet got faster, then started making video. I went into Down Terrace not thinking about it at all. And we arrogantly went in and went, we're just going to make this film, we'll do whatever we want, we're not going to talk to anybody. So we didn't try and raise money, we didn't talk to Film 4, and we didn't talk to BFI or any of these guys. Didn't enter into that conversation, because we knew they would never fund it anyway. First-time film director with a British crime film is just the least likely person to get money in Britain.
You serious? It's for a real gun, yeah, just bought it for 200 quid. Are you serious? This is a real shooter?
Rob and I had made this script so that it could be filmed in his mum and dad's house, so that it was doable, and that was the main that's the main thing that separated us out from all the people who wanted to make films who couldn't make films, was making that pragmatic, practical decision that we were going to write something that we could actually do, rather than write something and then try and get money in or borrow money from people to make our thing come true, And I think that's the big mistake on first movies. And it wasn't until I was walking up to the first day of shooting, it came on me that this was it, really. If you make a film, and the first film you make, you're standing up from the crowd and saying, this is my idea, this is me, and there's no hiding from that. And then I realised why people feel under pressure. But by that point we were committed to it, and we started making it. And really, we didn't have time to over intellectualise it while we were making it, because we were just doing it. And when it was done, we shot very quick. It was done in 8 days, and everybody just looked at each other, and it was an incredible rush, and everyone was just elated, and we just went, oh my God, we've done it, we've made it.
Everything's okay, Maggie, don't worry.
Yeah, it's just a bit of boisterous fun, Ma.
Put it through, Bill.
No, don't break it down, it's Victorian.
So what he's got here, like, got any tools? Like a knife would be good.
Going out of Down Terrace and into Kill List, we never thought we'd get the same reviews as we got for Down Terrace. We were always waiting for that, like the music press used to do in the 90s, they build them up and they bring them down. So I thought, well, we're already screwed. You know, it doesn't matter now because we've had the best reviews we'll ever get for that movie.
You come with recommendations.
They're well earned.
The thing with Kill List, what it is that you could see it as 3 films glued together, but it's also, for me, it's more of a symmetrical film, you know, so it's a film that folds in the middle and joins up. So it's got 2 sets of rhythms working within it, and that's why it never, you know, all the clues are there and all the information is all there in the film. You know, if you don't pick it up and read it, then, you know, that's not my problem.
Term ran.
Making Sightseers was a conscious decision after Kill List to make something funny. You know, we'd felt pretty burned out by Kill List, especially Amy and I after editing it. We just felt exhausted and miserable, and then watching it and seeing what the reactions were of audiences, which were unhappiness and glumness. So we thought, why don't we make something that's a bit more cheery? Obviously, it's quite dark in the end, but it was, you know, that's our version of funny. I mean, it's the opposite of Kill List in many ways in terms of like everything is kind of trying to move towards a joke, whereas in Kill List it's all trying to move towards it being something that's unnerving or horrible. But in many ways they're the same film. You know, it's a couple travelling up and down the country, killing people.
This isn't working. Look, I don't need you. I don't need a muse. I'm not a bloody writer, am I?
No, you're not. You're a serial killer.
When you're making a film and you're in the middle of it, you're dealing with a beast, really. It's a multi-headed kind of creature, and you're dealing with emotion, and it's roiling around, and you're trying to control it. And I remember being on Sightseers and looking around and realising I was in the middle of a big piece of art that was happening in front of me, and it was just the most exhilarating feeling. You're just going, my God, all these people are here, and well, they've got one thing, and it's to make this what's going into this camera, and if you tweak it, you talk to this person, and then talk to the actor, and you move the camera, everything changes around you, and that's just brilliant. You know, so much. You know, it's the most exciting art experience I've ever had. So from that respect, that's what I think about day to day when I'm in the driving seat of making a movie. Is just I'm watching it on the monitor and I'm watching it happen. You know, I'm experiencing the film. I'm the first viewer of the film. Field in England came about through from a couple of places, really. One was that on a very basic level, Laurie and I wanted to make something in black and white, so we were talking about that a lot. And we had finished Sightseers, and basically the films that were coming up in the future seemed to be quite big and technical, and I kind of felt that if I didn't make something that was a bit left of field now, pardon the pun, that I wouldn't get to do it for a long time.
You need no invitation. This is your country, is it not? Although I've claimed a small corner which I'm intent on raping a little, just only fair I take something in return for my countrymen's troubles. Cutler has you marked as a coward. It's comforting to know that things haven't changed greatly in my absence.
The things I find specifically interesting about making films is, especially the kind of films I've been making, is that they're very handmade. You know, we are there at the very beginning of them, and I'm part of the kind of financing and the pitching of them, involved in the writing of them by one way or another. The Field in England is the film I wanted to make. There's no element of that movie really that we were unhappy with when it came out the other end. You know, so but then that's been the case pretty much for all the other films as well. And I think we've been very lucky and had a good run of it. But it is through being diligent like that and controlling it and being across it, you know, so that we can reduce these costs right down and still, you know, and deliver movies that I think other people would find very hard to produce at the budgets that we work at. But you know, apart from that, I don't know, I don't think I could do anything else anymore. So it's the best job in the world for me. You know, I'm lucky.